What is up, YouTube? So I got a little something special for you today. And this is kind of a follow-up plus a learning experience. Um, I had a viewer comment and send me a question on their floor. This is a laminate floor. And just a little background, my most successful, still to this day, gets the most views, which ain't much for my channel, but it's still a lot of views, video on YouTube has been the removal of some wax from a laminate floor. That video, just everybody stacks up, which tells me a lot of people have that problem. And the short story is, this viewer sent me a video of their floors that they inherited this problem and asked for some help on what they should do about it. So of course, my first recommendation is always to get a local professional to come in here, come in there for them and strip that. But here's the thing: a lot of floor cleaners don't want to touch these because there's so much liability, or there can be so much liability, because there is a high likelihood of screwing the floor up. Just to be honest, to be blunt. I look at it a little differently, and here's where I'm coming from. These floors, and we're going to go through her video here in a second, but these floors, once you put a topical coating on a laminate floor, it is already ruined, because these floors are not waterproof, they can't handle moisture, and they don't require any type of coating, and there's no coating that is going to bond and stick to them well. So once a topical is applied, the floor is already ruined. So what a professional should do is take a look at it, have the customer agree that they can't make it worse. It's already ruined. They can do whatever they can attempt to do to improve it, and everything's just, there's always some inherent risk there that you're not going to be able to fix it. But if you start from the basis of the floors are already ruined, we're going to do what we can to help. That makes a big difference. The other recommendation I have for all my viewers across the world, if you see this video, I cannot emphasize it enough. There is no modern floor in a residential setting that requires a topical coating at all. No laminate floor, no tile floor, no hardwood, really modern hardwoods, engineered floors, linoleum. Nothing should have a coating on it. So take that Mop and Glow or whatever you're using, if it has the word wax or coating or glow in it, throw it away. Don't use it. That stuff is not designed for modern floors. It just makes it worse. Don't use it. There are a few professional grade products that when you expose past the let me start over. When you expose past the wear coating or the wear layer of the floor, you can provide a finish on it, but it's nothing that the homeowner needs to mess with. You're only going to make it worse. Point two is laminate floors almost exclusively. I don't think I've ever seen a factory laminate floor that was glossy. They're not supposed to be glossy. So don't try to put a coating on it trying to make it shiny. It's not supposed to be shiny. It's only going to make it worse. So let's take a look at this video, and I'm going to clip it to the side, but you may hear it because I want to be able to time it up later. But this is exactly what I need to give a good recommendation. They've done a good walkthrough. All right, let's get this video going and take a look
Here's
at
our
what
laminate
we're
floor.
looking at here.
It is very
You can see right off the
stretchy.
bat that
My business
milky
partner has
appearance. That's the first sign of a topical coating. That stuff turns white and milky looking.
What type of weird
And then she's showing the edges here, and you can see it bubbles up because it does not bond to the laminate floor. So once it dries and shrinks a little bit, it's going to crack up, and the edges hold the most buildup because they don't see any traffic. This is a good tip here. She picks up that vent so you can look in there and see the construction. Good job there. Skip forward a little. Okay. So now we're going through the hallway, and you can see the scratches. Those scratches that you see there, I'm pretty sure are going to be just in the topical coating. I think if you get that topical coating off, it's going to look good. Now, she's looking at the toilet here. she was concerned about water damage. I don't think it's necessarily water damage. I think it's just build up, and it's exacerbated by the fact that around any toilet you get some, say, overspray, and that will soften that all up too and cause it to chip.
and we don't want to
So
buy a floor. Okay.
yeah, so great video. If you want my help, that's a good way to get it. So I'm gonna show you. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this. You may have already seen how I suggest to address it. And I just want to reiterate a few points. One is you want to test a very small section first. Uh, do a small football size section first, and you want to work in small areas. So 5-foot square is more than enough to do a small area at a time. Other than that, I go through the sequence pretty well. Give it a shot. Let us know how it works. If there's a little bit of topical remaining, you can repeat, or you can even rent a low-speed scrubber, but that equipment's not exactly user-friendly, and I don't want you to go too far. So follow the steps I gave you with the plastic scraper and the dissolver floor coating, and let me know how it turns out. All right, here we go. There are generally no residential grade products that are going to do this. But there are products that you can actually order from Amazon, and I'll post a link below, that can work on this. And the line that I use is from Basic Coatings. And to remove this wax, we're going to use the dissolver from Basic Coatings. This is a acrylic coating remover. And then followed up with the final clean with Squeaky, which is a neutral floor cleaner that leaves zero residue. And if you have neutral laminate floors, wood floors, this is what you should be cleaning them with and nothing else. You don't need any soap, you need Squeaky. Some other things you're going to need is just a regular pump-up sprayer. This is just an old one I had in the shop to show you. You'll need a plastic scraper and a deck broom. I didn't have a plastic scraper, but this is what I'm talking about when I talk about a deck broom. Just a big, wide, bristle broom. And so the process you're going to use here is mix up that dissolver in the recommended dilution, and you want to start on the weekend and work your way up if necessary. Mix it up in the pump sprayer, and your goal here is to get that coating wet enough without actually wetting the floor. And that sounds weird, but that's the first step. Is you want to loosen up that coating because you're not going to have access to professional scrubbers and all. So I'm going to tell you how to loosen up and get it off with as little damage as possible. Now you might see some warpy edges and things like that. There's nothing we can do to help that. Remember, we're here to get the best we can out of it before you rip it out and replace it. Because instead of $6 or $8 a square foot, we're talking $1 a square foot. So mix up that dissolver as recommended in the pump-up sprayer. Pump it up, and with a fine mist, wet the coating that's on the laminate. Not super wet. What you should see is it start to turn really, really white and soft. And then you're going to take that plastic scraper and roll up as much of that coating as you can. And a lot of it will come up just like this. And you don't have to do it on your hands and knees. You can do it with a long handle scraper, but make sure you use a plastic blade. We don't want to cut any gouges in the laminate. And that stuff will roll up like a bad paint job. Once you do that, mop it with the Squeaky. And then if there's any left of the coating, mix up some more dissolver, nice light coat, and use your deck brush, your stiff bristle brush, with the grain of the laminate, and brush off the remaining coating. Mop it once or twice with Squeaky again to get up any residue. And there is a high success rate with that method when it comes to residential cleaners trying to restore their laminate floors. I say it's not a professional job by any means, but there's a lot of professionals that are going to turn you down. You don't need any super fancy tools. I'll drop some links to the Basic Coatings line in the description, and that will be an affiliate link, so if you don't mind, click on that link. It really helps me and the channel out. And this viewer here said she's going to share the results with us too if it's successful, so I'm hoping we can see an after shot. But I'm going to post a few pictures of this video while we go, and she sent me some screenshots at all as well. If you have flooring problems then this is what I need to help you out. And I'd love to help you out wherever you're located. I'll probably have a professional close by. But if not, then I can give you a consult just like I'm doing here. I want everybody to learn and be successful. So in a few weeks, I have a job very similar to this where we're going to be stripping a topical off a laminate floor. So I'm hoping I'll be able to film that too and get some good footage of how we do it professionally, which is probably a little riskier because we're using heavy equipment and a pad on a floor machine and getting a little wetter, but it's faster and does a good job as well. But I think for the average homeowner, especially when you see the video, you'll see how thick it is and it kind of wants to almost pop up on its own. I think you'll be successful with a plastic paint scraper and this dissolver, and then followed up with the deck brush. Just make sure you each time you're mopping it with squeaky and some hot water to get all the residue up and keep it as dry, the floor itself as dry as possible. All right, guys, until next time, here we go.